Boys and gents, welcome to CG Reaction. This is Miscellaneous Myths, The Five Sons by the channel All Sarcastic production. Everybody loves a good creation myth. The Aztecs loved it so much they did it 5 whole times. I call it overkill, but compared to all the other stuff the Aztec believed, 4 mythical extinction event is actually remarkably tame. Yeah, and also since there has been extinction event in history, that kind of is I guess a good touch. Yeah. This is going to be a fun video. I recorded quite a few Only Sarcastic production videos already. If you haven't seen them, check out the cards, the playlist I created for it, Only Sarcastic production reactions, something like that. Check out the playlist too, like Tier Zoo, Unbiased History by Doherty, Internet Historian, CGP Grey, and yeah, let's watch this one.
I don't think we appreciate the sun enough. And I say this as someone who gets sunburns from Hubble pics and people with unusually shiny teeth. I have every reason to hate the sun. But really, I think we take it for granted these days. Ever since we figured out that solar eclipses didn't mean the sun was literally getting eaten by a giant snake, we've kinda stopped worrying about it. And I think that's a shame, because some of my absolute favorite myths are about what happens when the sun stops working. But while many mythologies have designated sun gods and or the occasional myth where the sun is threatened but ultimately saved, I think the Aztec creation myth has my favorite take on the subject. So let's take a look at what history's most notoriously bloody mythos has to say on the subject of suns. The Aztec creation myth begins when Ometeotl, a primordial dual god that may or may not have ever actually been worshipped, spontaneously creates himself and promptly spoots out 4 gods to start filling out the pantheon. These 4 gods are associated with the cardinal directions as well as the colors white, blue, red, and black. They're sometimes referred to as the 4 Tezcatlipocas, which is a bit confusing because only one of them is actually named Tezcatlipoca. The other 3 are Xipetotec and 2 more familiar Aztec deities, Quetzalcoatl and Huitzilopochtli. Quetzalcoatl, the white Tezcatlipoca, is the god of the winds, the west, knowledge.
Yeah, okay. God of the west, wind, rain, assorted weather, knowledge, learning, creativity, the arts, etc. The feathered serpent is found in basically every ancient Mesoamerican belief system. Every? So it's not just about Aztecs, huh? His antiquity might account for the many versions of his origin story. Big ol' Big old snake, okay.
Learning, art, and the planet Venus. His name means feathered serpent, which is usually how he's represented in the art. Huitzilopochtli, the blue Tezcatlipoca, is the god of the south, along with war and human sacrifice, and his name means hummingbird of the south. Xipetotec.
Damn it. Yeah, patron god of Tenochtitlan, I don't know how to pronounce that. The Aztec worshipped him as their primary god. Okay, so he was the primary god. Okay, but prior to the formation of the empire, he was rather more minor. Okay, wields the fire serpent, I can pronounce that, as a weapon. Okay,
it's hummingbird of the south. Xipetotec, the red Tezcatlipoca, is the god of the east, along
of the east, agriculture and war, specifically war as connected with agriculture, renewal and farming. Okay, so agriculture wars. Flays himself to give food to humanity, similar to maize seeds losing their skin before fermenting. This is really hard text, man. The font could be better. Come on. He invented war. Okay, he invented war. Also associated with plagues, sickness, and eye infections. What the hell? Without his skin, he resembles a golden, what is that, golden god? Yeah.
Along with agriculture, farming, springtime, and disease, with his name meaning our Lord the Flayed One, which, might be why he's red. Anyway, rounding out our roster is Tezcatlipoca, redundantly called the Black Tezcatlipoca, who's the god of the night sky, hurricanes, obsidian.
Yeah, god of the north, night sky, winds, hurricanes, obsidian, enmity. Is that what? Yeah. Discord, war, jaguars, sorcery, etc. Has a ton of epithets. What does that even? I can't pronounce that. Possessor of the sky and earth. That's what that means. Okay. Enemy of both sides. Lord of the near and nigh. Okay.
Chaos, conflict, and jaguars. His name means smoking mirror, which is cool as hell. So these 4 gods do what gods do best and start trying to make stuff. But the problem is, right now the universe is just this big empty void hovering over primordial ocean that's home to Cipactli, a giant monster crocodile eldritch abomination thing with big ol' crocodile mouths on every joint of its body. I'm picturing a Jacob's Ladder made of nightmares. And whenever they make
Damn.
anything, it falls into the ocean and Cipactli eats it. So Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl come up with a plan that'll kill two birds with one stone. Tezcatlipoca lures Cipactli to the surface, incidentally losing a leg in the process, and the four gods catch and kill it, then repurpose its nightmare bear trap body into the land. However, Cipactli is only kinda dead, so in order to keep it happy, the gods promise it regular blood sacrifices so it won't eat their stuff anymore. So yeah, in the Aztec cosmology, the Earth itself is a starving primeval monster that wants nothing more than to eat everything at all times. Let's file that under yikes and move on. So now that
Damn, are there many volcanoes there where the Aztecs lived? Because this feels like trying to make sense of the volcanoes. Whenever they erupt, people make sense of it like that. So they do sacrifices that, so the volcanoes don't erupt.
they've got some land to work with, and the gods get to work making a bunch more gods, plus some humans, although these humans are giant for some reason. Anyway, that's all cool and stuff, but this new world is missing something. It needs a sun. So Tezcatlipoca decides to give it a shot. He becomes the sun, but for some reason, either due to the loss of his leg or the fact that he's a god of the night, he can only manage half a sun. But that works fine, and things go alright for a while. But over time, Tezcatlipoca develops a bit of a rivalry with Quetzalcoatl, and one day, Quetzalcoatl whacks him out of the sky with a big stone club for some reason. Tezcatlipoca takes this so badly that he calls down a rain of jaguars to eat everybody, and that's how the first world ends. So, with humanity extinct and Tezcatlipoca thoroughly unfit for duty, Quetzalcoatl steps up to the plate and becomes the second
Look at the way he said, the way he's sitting there, like he's just thrown a tantrum or something.
son, after the gods whip up some new humans. Smaller this time, probably so they leave less of a mess. Now, Quetzalcoatl loves these new humans, but over time they stop being quite as respectful to the gods as maybe they could be, and they maybe start taking them a little for granted. And who should take offense to this but Tezcatlipoca, who punishes the wayward humans by transforming them all into monkeys. Quetzalcoatl is so upset about the loss of his humans that he blows all the monkeys off the face of the earth and goes home to sulk. Well, time for son number 3, I guess. Quetzalcoatl makes some more humans, and Tlaloc, a rain god, becomes the third son. And he does a pretty good job for a while, until Tezcatlipoca seduces Tlaloc's wife, the fertility goddess Xochiquetzal, and Tlaloc gets so upset that he refuses to let it rain at all. After a while, the desperate prayers of humanity start getting on his nerves, so Tlaloc is like, "Oh, you want rain? I'll give you rain!" And then sets off a rain of fire, burning the entire world to the ground and wiping out everything again.
Man, did he really punish all the people just because that other basically god banged his wife? Okay.
Again, you know that's not what they were asking for. Come on, man. Well, Tlaloc steps down as the son and remarries, this time to the water goddess Xalxutlicue, who also steps up to become the fourth son. Now, Xalxutlicue is a total sweetheart and dotes on her new humans, but here, take a guess who screws this up. Yep, our old buddy Tezcatlipoca accuses Xalxutlicue of being a total poser who's only pretending to like those humans so they worship her. This cutting accusation is so hurtful that Xalxutlicue cries blood for 52 years and drowns everybody. But at this point, Quetzalcoatl is getting real sick of having to build new humans every few years. So instead of starting from scratch, he stomps down to the underworld, steals the bones of all those dead humans from the underworld god Mictlantecuhtli, and stomps right back up again. But not before he trips, falls in a hole, and breaks all the bones. Don't worry, it doesn't do anything bad, but this is used to explain why people come in different heights now. Anyway, Quetzalcoatl dips the bones in his blood, and the humans all come back to life, and enter the world of the fifth and current son, staffed by Huitzilopochtli. And while according to the mythos he hasn't screwed up yet, he's in constant conflict with the moon Coilxauhqui and the stars, who are also scary skeleton ladies called the Tzitzimime. The Aztecs believed that the world of the fifth son would end in a catastrophic earthquake, so I guess, California, quit trying to fall into the ocean, and remember to pour one out for Cipactli once in a while. Blood sacrifices keep the planet from eating your feet. One day.
Damn, so this basically creation myths are based around extinction events, and apparently this extinction event is gonna come in form of earthquakes. That is creative, isn't it? And we know there has been extinction event in the past, so that kind of is a fun thing to see how they did that. Adding extinction event into your creation myth is somehow fun. But this all felt like one of those college prank type of things. Gods were like basically teenager or something. Who's that guy? Tezcatlipoca, I think that's him, who's constantly screwing things up. That is just really, he feels like one of those mean girls from the college. He even makes one of the sons cry. That's just ridiculous. Aztec mythology is so interesting because it's like the far end of the brutally bell curve while still basically making sense. Yeah, everything is so extreme and bloody, but in ways that sort of work.
To see I've gone.
Saipe Totek, the skinless walking nightmare. Oh, but it's because how corn works. Okay. Cipactli, the living earth, is constantly starving and furious, which is probably how we explain earthquakes. Okay. And stuff. So maybe if we feed it, those will stop. Quetzal, look, I can't pronounce that. Checks out the window to make sure the sun still exists. A window checks out the window to make sure the sun still exists and quietly adds another mark to his days since Testalipoca murdered everybody. Tally. Okay. Damn, that is something. Alright people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction did. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast little playlist like Oli Sarcastic Production and others too. And yeah, I'll see you next time.